Hello, welcome to Liz Rocks and Stuff. I'm Liz. It's time for episode 55 of What's in My Tumbler. We are back inside this week because it was raining when I was recording this, so I missed the outside. But anyway, we're starting off with Jasper Zoo. I have a very brown slurry there for some reason. Not sure what happened, why it's brown, but it's brown rocks, so maybe the slurry is brown because of that. But the color of your slurry is not usually significant. So if you're wondering, does your slurry look normal? Probably. There's a very wide range of what your slurries can look like. They can be very thick. They can be very thin. They can be brown, gray. I've had white. It just depends on what happened while it was tumbling. And as long as your rocks turn out fine, then it's okay. I would only worry if your your slurry was very gritty, because then that means you either have not enough water or too much grit. Other than that, it's not really, it doesn't matter or affect things very much. But anyway, back to what we are doing here. This is Jasper Zoo. It's been rinsed off. I am actually doing a cleaning cycle this week. So that was a tablespoon of grated ivory soap that I'm adding in here. And it's going to tumble for a few hours. I don't really keep track of how long. It's just when I remember that I have some soap cycles I need to clean out. So you can see that this is a very foamy and very gray slurry. Not really a slurry, but because there wasn't really any grit in there, but you could see these were very dirty. They did actually need that soap cycle. So now I'm just going to go through, make sure nothing is broken or chipped. And I think I did find one small chip in this one. One of my batches this week had a small chip that I took out. Probably not this one, but get that water in there, and then we are going to put in a single tablespoon of borax and then 3 tablespoons of stage 4 final polish. I believe this is 8,000 aluminum oxide is what I use for my final polish. So if you're using anything less than that and you're not seeing shiny rocks, that's probably why, because your final polish should be about 8,000 if you're using aluminum oxide. Now, I haven't tried any of the other cerium oxides or the other types of finishes there are. You definitely can't get a polish with silicone carbide, so just be aware of that. If you're not getting shiny rocks, that seems to be the #1 reason. All right, moving on to Pet Geode. This is a mixture of petrified wood and broken geode pieces, and these are actually coming along quite well. These were in stage 3 this week, stage 3. So they're going into stage 4. These will also be done next week. So I'll have 2 barrels starting next week. One of those is for sure going to be the remaining Jasper Zoo, and probably throwing in some of the other rocks that I just have hanging out that I don't know where. They weren't labeled properly, so I have no idea what they are or what stage they're at. So I'll probably just start those in. But anyway, I'll have another. I'm not sure what my other barrel is going to be at this point. I have a ton of rocks that I just had 3 orders of rocks come in the last couple of weeks, plus I have one more coming this week. And so, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to start next week, but I have 2 barrels that I'll be able to start, and I know at least one of them is going to be a mix of some things. So, petrified wood and geode pieces are getting a tablespoon of ivory soap again. Just because I like to do cleaning cycles between 3 and 4 for sure. Any earlier than that, and some people will debate whether or not it's needed. I typically will do between 2 and 3, and then between 3 and 4 for sure. All right, so another gray foam there. Rinsing inside is not as good as rinsing outside, which is why I'm a little more diligent about cleaning cycles when I'm in the winter time and I can't rinse outside. And but when I can use my hose outside, it's much better. So yeah, I did find a chip in here. I'm not sure what rock it came from, but it was a sharp-edged chip, so I didn't want that ruining my final batch. So I just pulled that piece out. It probably would not have done much damage, but you never know. So this is again going to be a tablespoon of borax and 3 tablespoons of my final polish, and then these are going to go on the tumbler for another week. So I'm excited to see how these turn out and how the geode pieces look. They have an interesting color to them, so I'm really kind of excited to see if they get shiny. All right, now we're the Prairie Agate, finally getting to the ends of the Prairie Agate rough that I have, and this is in stage 1. It has been in stage 1 for a very long time. So this is getting a rinse, and then I'm just going to inspect it and fill up the barrel and move on. This is, I've said it before, agate. This particular agate is very hard, so it takes a very long time for it to shape. So I have the green cup is the rock that is ready for stage 2. Anything I'm putting back in the barrel needs more time in stage 1. You'll find I do have a few more pieces. This is starting to shape up quite well. The larger pieces do take longer than the smaller pieces do. So I have a lot more small pieces that are ready than the bigger pieces. And I'm being a little bit lenient in the bigger pieces as far as what I'm looking for to move them on. So I'll put that cup, that's my storage cup. And now I have, it's about half full maybe. So this is the last of my prairie agate that I have. Still not quite full enough. This is a rock that my mom gave me to tumble. It's pink. And it's also a different shape. So I'll be able to tell it from the other prairie agates pretty easily. I've put water in the barrel, and now this is going to be another stage 1 tumble. So we're going to put 3 tablespoons of my silicone carbide stage 1 grit. This is a 6090 silicone carbide that I use for stage 1. So now those are ready to go for another week. And finally, we have the mix of rocks from Brazil. And these are currently in stage 2, going into stage 3. And the slurry on this thing is always really thick. I'm not sure what's causing that, but it's very interesting to see that it sticks to the rocks and to the barrel really well. I have to do quite a thorough rinsing on these to make sure that I get as much off as I can. They just don't want to let go of that slurry. So I'm going to speed this up so you don't have to struggle through watching me try to rinse all of that off. And now, since these are in stage 2 going into stage 3, what I'm going to do is give them a good bath cycle. You can see on my hands all the slurry that was left on there. Even with all the rinsing I did, it didn't quite get it enough. And yes, I did this out of order. I put in the soap first. There are a lot of people that will tell you have to put in the water first or it doesn't work. And that's absolutely not true. So you will see, I wasn't thinking when I did this, I put the soap in first and then I put the water in. People believe that putting the water in pushes your grit and your soap or whatever down to the bottom of the barrel and then it doesn't work. But you're actually about to turn this onto its side and tumble it, in this case, for a few hours. And it's soap. It's going to dissolve. And anyway, there are people that think that if you have a lot of sludge in the bottom of your barrel, it's because you put your water in last. And that's not at all why that is. Usually that would be if you've let it sit for any amount of time, even just a few seconds, any amount of slurry and grit will settle very, very quickly. And that's why you get sludge in the bottom of your barrel sometimes. So don't listen to people that tell you you have to put the water in first or it doesn't work, because that's not at all what's going on. All right, so I'm doing a quick inspection here. I want to, again, make sure I don't have anything that's broken or chipped. This is a very small batch. In reality, I'm not, I think these rocks just wore away. Some of them wore away very quickly, but that barrel is nowhere near full enough. So I'm going to put in a lot of my media. And I do have new media, but I don't start new media until it's any earlier than stage, or any later than stage 2. And since this is going into stage 3, it would be far too sharp for me to use in this stage if it's new. So I need my used media for this step. Again, a tablespoon of borax to help thicken up the slurry and 3 tablespoons of polish will get this batch on their way for another week. So these will be done in a couple of weeks. I've got 2 barrels that'll be done next week. So I'm very excited with how everything is going. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll come back next week.